Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Funniest people you've never heard of. I'm Peter. This is Todd.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, there is your catchphrase.
And my friend.
And it is Christmas Eve, and Hanukkah is coming up as well, so happy holidays. Todd, happy holidays to you.
Thank you. You look great in your Christmas sweater.
Thank you very much. Yeah, sweater. Got a little scarf on here from the Everton supporters of Chicago. They hooked me up with this, which was really nice. I was just in Liverpool earlier this month. Saw Everton win against Wolves 4-0 under Goodison Lights. It was amazing. Okay, so with the holidays coming up, the question always comes up, if you have kids or friends with kids, how should you talk to them about Santa Claus?
Well, I want to know if you should ever tell a kid that Santa Claus is real to begin with. My household didn't really believe in much, so my instinct is to not really tell kids lies. But
yeah, I mean, telling kids lies, it's just easier.
Yeah, you're smart. We love you as much as your brother.
Yeah, tell me how that makes you feel, Todd.
No, it's the holidays. Let's stay in the positive spirit. Which, speaking of,
okay,
today is December 24th,
That's
which
right.
means a few days ago, December 20th, we just missed it, was your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Oh, man.
He performs on camera, so we don't ask the number here. But I would like you to look underneath your chair for a surprise.
Really?
Yeah, look. Not underneath your seat, underneath the whole chair.
Okay.
So before Peter opens this, I want to cut to a clip for a little reference for our audience.
I had, my birthday is December 20th, send gifts. And I one time had my birthday on December 20th, 5 days before Christmas, at a McDonald's. Nobody showed up. Like 2 kids from my elementary school showed up because it's so close to Christmas, they were out of town. And Ronald McDonald was there.
Oh, nice.
He in this little Florida
So
town.
you spent your birthday alone with Ronald McDonald in the ball pit?
Yeah, I don't know if I've maybe buried that memory, but
Yeah.
it's all coming back to me now.
Wow.
This is amazing.
As you know, Peter admitted to having one of the saddest birthdays of all time alone at McDonald's when no one showed up because of the holidays. So we're commemorating that traumatic memory with a T-shirt.
Oh my gosh, and it's got everyone on here. It's got, wait, hold on.
All your friends.
Oh my, yeah, everyone that showed up to that party. It's Mayor McCheese, Ronald McDonald, Grimace.
And is that the healthcare assassin?
It's Luigi. You made it. Dude, thank you so much. This is very thoughtful, and I appreciate it.
Happy birthday, happy holidays. You get one gift for both. That's your life, right?
Yeah, that's it. Though when you're not looking, I'm going to take a very nice new bottle of tequila Espacial, our favorite sponsor for the podcast, Tequila Espacial. It's gotten us through all these episodes so far, and it's going to get me through the holidays. Todd, where can people pick up a bottle of Tequila Espacial?
Absolutely, Peter. It's not too late for the holidays. Have a drink on Christmas Eve. Wake up on New Year's Day. For a bottle, go to www.tequilaespacial.com. Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. Thanks for tuning in, and please enjoy this episode with the very funny, the one and only Natasha Collier.
The Culver City Chipotle just closed down. That's how bad it's getting.
Oh man, if
In this
Chipotle can't
economy,
survive, that comes up
God.
every like 3 episodes. Chipotle.
Chipotle?
So, yeah.
I love Chipotle.
Do you?
I do.
All right, well, we'll get into
We're
it.
looking for sponsors for next season. So,
Chipotle?
Yeah, let's do it.
If I mention Chipotle, like how much do I have to mention it?
3 more times throughout.
Hey, everybody,
why would
welcome
you
back
want
to the
to?
show. Oh, he's right behind me, isn't he? Today, we have a fantastic guest on Funniest People You've Never Heard of. You're about to hear about her right now. The wonderful, the very funny Natasha Collier. Natasha, how are you today?
I'm so good.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
It is Christmas Eve. So tell me this, holiday plans, how do you celebrate?
How I make stuffing. I'm a big stuffing person.
Oh.
I like to cook. Like holidays, my favorite part is just cooking. I do the stuffing I do with sourdough bread, and then I make it like that. And then my family doesn't really like it that much. They're not big eaters, my family, and so I get to take it all home afterwards. It's a really good plan.
Do your family not being eaters? Does that mean there's no anxiety in your family?
No,
or no stress?
No.
Okay.
There's
just
so
drink.
much anxiety in my family. It just doesn't. It's not channeled into food.
Well, that's great. I mean, I want to learn more about your stuffing recipe, but since we're on the topic of family, you are an LA native, and your family's here. Do they have any input on your comedy? Like, do you have a grandma that's like, you know, always like, hey, how's your career? Or like, you know, anything like that?
They've never seen my comedy.
Really?
Yes.
Never?
No
Not
kidding.
live, no.
Okay.
And that is primarily due to my own anxiety
Why
of
is that?
showing it to my family. I know they're not gonna like it, and it's just, and they're not gonna, if they don't like it, which they won't, they're not gonna say that. They're still supportive, more or less. So it's just gonna be this like it's a whole thing. And you know, I don't know if you feel this way where you perform differently when someone you know is in the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily that I think they would be offended by it. Like, it's just that comedy was never really their thing. Like, they're not.
They don't like food. They don't like comedy. What is with these people?
They don't have a sense of humor. They don't have any taste buds. My God, you know.
I know, it's a nightmare. I will say, because like I do, you know, I have stuff online, and my parents do follow me. I don't have any jokes about my dad online, but I do have some about my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom likes them. Like, she's definitely, she called me. She was like, she's an immigrant. She's from Vietnam, so that's another reason why she, like, I don't know if she fully grasped comedy, but she called me. She was just like, I saw the joke that was about me. She's like, I like that one. I think it's funny. She goes, I don't really understand any of the other jokes, but the ones about me. I have a white dad, because my mom knew what she was doing. Grew up in a mixed white and Asian household. It's kind of interesting, you know, because you have one parent who's like, follow your dreams, and then the other parent who's like, here are your dreams. But every now and then someone will be like, oh, your dad's white and your mom's Asian. Was your dad in the military? Which is a really nice way of asking, is your mom a prostitute? And she's not, okay? She did all that for free. I don't know which is worse, to be honest with you.
Your mother's from Vietnam. Your dad is white.
Classic.
Right? Classic.
Just the normal breed of
Classic.
white.
But like, what is it about like biracial communities? I'm like half Irish, half Puerto Rican, and you know, everybody kind of pronounces that when they're starting comedy.
Because when you're starting out comedy, especially, like, you're trying to find what your identity is on stage, and race is just the easiest thing to go for. Right. You try to talk about things that set you apart, and if you're biracial, it's usually pretty unique. And yeah, I mean, like, I think it's no secret that comedians of a certain race will attract audience members of a certain race, and so I think people will just try to lean into relatability and trying to garner an audience however they need, and race is probably a really
I've been
big part
telling
of
you
that.
things are tougher for white people, and you don't believe me.
Wow, you finally confirmed it. How would you, for someone that wants to buy a ticket to your show and see you perform live, how would you describe yourself on stage?
It's so hard to put into words your voice. You know, and so especially because I feel like sometimes I still don't even know it, you know? But I would consider my comedy more on the observational side than the storytelling personal side. And, you know, and I think that's probably a big part of it. More silly observational humor, I guess.
Fun. Oh, fun.
I'm a fun person on stage. I don't try to get too deep or introspective about, you know, and there's a place for that in the comedy world for sure, for, you know, more poetic or more identity-based comedy. But mine is just a little bit more, what's the deal with that?
So our research department tells me that you're on OnlyFans, and we've talked with Mike Glazer about, you know, OnlyFans and doing comedy and stuff like that. What's that experience been like for you?
Well, I should make it clear to the viewers and everyone here, the OnlyFans thing is a comedy thing.
Yes.
Yes, we knew that.
Gotcha.
It is not any, but
Gotcha.
and I can say this now too, because at this point my contract will be up. I did a taping for OnlyFans comedy, and as part of the deal, I had to run my own OnlyFans. Cool. And you know, as much money as I know I'm leaving on the table by being fully clothed in all of the posts that I'm not even in most of the posts too. It's
Who's
they
in
don't
'em?
the food that I'm eating. So I figured out also if it's a food OnlyFans account, the food's a tax write-off. And so
You are a genius.
Wow.
I'm just taking pictures of the food that I eat, and
Dang, that
sometimes
is
I'm
so
in them,
smart.
sometimes I'm not. And I charge $15 a month for the subscription because, as a very wise woman and a very funny comedian, Ellen Harold, advised me before the OnlyFans thing is that people are either going to be curious for free or they're going to be curious for money. And so I was like, let's see if people are willing to pay $15 for an unknown of what is on this OnlyFans.
And so then you were like, all right, $15 a month. You're going to see the food that I'm going to eat, and you're going to post comedy videos. Is that right?
No comedy videos.
No
Just the
comedy.
food that I'm eating.
Yeah.
Well, I also learned through this process that if you go to a paid OnlyFans page and write, like they can see the captions but not the content.
Oh.
So at the beginning I was leaning in pretty hard.
that's so
to
funny.
the
What would you say?
misdirection. Oh, just getting dressed this morning. You know, just vague, corny captions because the set that they post is on their OnlyFans TV channel, which is a TV channel that's really only watched by perverts. And so
Yeah, what is that? Just come preloaded on Samsung TVs?
I don't know what this is. And I feel like I should also be cautious in how I talk about OnlyFans, which is a great company.
Well, yeah, you know, you're talking about opportunities, and you know, right now there's so many streaming platforms: Pluto TV, Tubi, Netflix, Hulu,
OnlyFans.
Veeps, OnlyFans, yeah. And so then you did an OnlyFans comedy taping,
Yes.
and that's what's on their
Yes.
TV show, TV channel or whatever. And so, what was your experience like from start to finish?
It was cool. It was my first like real taping,
Yeah.
so I didn't know exactly what to expect. But they had the cameras and the mics and stuff, and they did like photo shoots before. And the show itself was just really cool. Like they sold out the main room at the Ice House in Pasadena, and just had everyone do 10-minute sets. It was just it was a long show, but it was. I really enjoyed the audience for that taping, and just overall it was a good experience. I was recently offered to be a guy's mistress. Yeah, it's nothing to brag about, but I still will, okay? Yeah, I mean, like, I thought about it for a second, only because the word mistress sounds hot. It sounds fun, you know? You get to wear a big hat and stand in the back row of funerals and stuff. Like, that's cool. I can do that. You know, they told me to save myself for marriage, but they ain't never said whose, right? Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's some advice for the ladies in here. Ladies, you are only called a mistress if the married guy you're dating is rich. Okay? Because let me tell you, if he's poor, you're just a whore, okay? You're just and you don't get any of the fun mistress perks like an inheritance or a brooch, okay? No, what you get a UTI and you pay for your own Uber home, all right? That's what I've learned.
One thing that everyone should know about you is, you know, we've had so many guests this year that have come from culinary backgrounds or other areas, not specifically
Culinary background.
Yeah.
We've had so many
Catbird,
like people who studied.
I guess, yeah.
Saul,
cooking.
yeah, Mike Glazer. Oh, yeah, big chef there. But you started law school?
No, I didn't start
You
law
were
school.
interested
God
in
help
law
me.
school.
I was.
We're gonna fire our
vaguely.
research assistant.
But like, what was
No,
your?
I did. My original plan was to go to law school in college, and then about halfway through, once I started comedy and realized that I didn't want to go to law school enough to commit to all of that,
Interesting.
I just sort of shifted and just was like, well, we'll ride out the comedy thing. I never really, truthfully, expected it to get this far. Who does? I feel like it was always so crazy to me when I was an open micer that I would like meet people who are also just open micers like 1-2 years in and be like, this is my what I'm gonna go for forever.
Yeah.
And I have no backup plan. And I met so many people like that. And I feel like I was just like, I truthfully would have never guessed that it would have gotten this far.
Really?
At least until the last like few years. The law school interest was mainly funneled by the fact that I did a lot of like speech and debate, politics type stuff in high school.
Oh, cool.
And that was sort of my introduction to public speaking in general. So I feel like I did sort of discover at least a desire for people to look at me while I talk.
Right. But when you do it a man's life is not on the line.
Totally.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. And
Talk about ultimate stakes. Like, mom, dad, come to this comedy show, and if I don't do well enough, this guy's getting the chair.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Let's create
Have you
that
heard
show.
of shock collar comedy? There's something along those lines.
Oh my gosh,
It's
no.
the comedians have to wear shock collars.
How about we create our own show where, already there's too many comedians just in Los Angeles. We do a show. One of these comedians is going to die tonight.
Now you're talking. Kind of like a
Right?
Russian roulette type comedy show.
That's it.
That would be fun.
You're in for that?
Or you could just like vote them off the island and they have to go move to
Yeah.
Florida.
Barstow or something. Yeah.
Florida. Hey,
Well, first of all,
there's
Peter's
good
from
comedy
Florida,
there.
so we have to be careful.
good comedy
about
And
what
I
we say
respect
about
Florida so much as a
no
state.
backpedaling.
yeah. You do not.
They got good stuff going on over there. I've been saying it for years.
Well, we're going into 2025, but let's talk about 2024. It was a big year for you. You did Netflix as a Joke Fest,
I did.
right? How was that experience? And what led to that, and what was that like?
It was a great experience. I got to do like a handful of shows for them,
Cool.
and kind of brush shoulders with comedians that I'd only ever heard of before. And it's always fun when that happens because I grew up also a huge comedy fan.
Oh,
So
great.
like now that I'm starting to like meet these people and work with these people, it is really surreal. And Netflix as a Joke was a big part of that. Even just like the parties and stuff. Like Jim Gaffigan was at the same party that I was.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's pretty sweet.
That's very cool. I did get to take a photo with one of the contestants of the show Love is Blind. They were doing a
Ooh.
Netflix
Fun.
as a Joke thing.
Nice.
That was cool. I'm never one to take photos with celebrities and stuff, especially
Yeah.
growing up in LA. That was always sort of kind of
Yeah.
a faux pas. But the reality star is kind of game over,
I agree too. I'm like, oh, this is fun. If I meet someone from Bachelor Nation.
Because I was like, I don't care what he thinks about me. He's probably a dick. He's on a reality show. But I was such a huge fan of that season that I was just like, I can't.
Which
not.
person was it?
This was
Do you-
Jimmy. But do you remember it was like a big thing where this girl in the pod says she looks like Megan Fox.
Oh,
And
this
then
guy, yeah.
The other guy, like during their meet, you could see it in his eyes where he's like, she does not look as much like Megan Fox as I thought she would. She kind of, I don't know. I don't think it was that far out there that's kind of a celebrity lookalike. It is a wild thing to say in the pods to compare yourself to like one of the pinnacle.
Right, when
hot
the person has a
celebrities.
blank slate and they're going to
Right.
fill it in.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's fair game when there are guys asking, hey, if we were at a music festival, would I be able to put you on my shoulders?
Sure. It's all just them trying to figure out if she's fat. But here's my qualm with
That
Love
was
is
the
Blind.
original name of that show.
My one qualm with Love is Blind, they're
What's your-
never fat. They're
never
usually
Right.
all attractive.
Okay.
And I'm just like, why have we done like 7 seasons of this show and not one Uggo has snuck through?
I'm gonna name all the reality shows I can think of. You're gonna change. You change one thing about them. So Love is Blind. You
make
would,
them ugly. Make some ugly.
Yeah,
Right.
you would have a buffet.
You got to have a
Yes.
couple stinkers.
have a couple.
Otherwise,
singers.
like, what are we doing here? What
Right.
kind of experiment? Because
Low
they call it
stakes.
an experiment.
Right.
And then what's the experiment if they're hot?
Okay, what would you throw into The Bachelor?
The Bachelor. Oh gosh, I used to actually be a pretty big Bachelor fan.
Bachelor Nation.
I would bring back the 2-on-1 dates. This is more not
Oh,
necessarily a changing of it because they used to do this for so long and then they stopped probably
Oh,
because
big
it was
mistake.
mildly traumatic for the people
Contentious, yeah.
involved.
I think some people were just left in Australia.
Yes.
You
Oh
know?
my god. And that was
Yeah.
the best part of it for
Helicopters.
me.
Yeah.
They would just helicopter away from this because the 2-on-1 date. I don't know if you are familiar.
I'm a producer on The Bachelor, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
He
I
literally
produce
is.
reality
He
TV.
literally
So
is.
this
Wait,
is, I'm
so-
actually
So this is
writing
something that you
down
can
notes.
text your
I
supervisor.
can text some people, yeah.
Okay, please.
We'll let
because
them
Bring
there
back
were-
2-on-1s. What
Yeah.
about Golden Bachelor? What would you change for that?
Make
I
them
did
younger.
Like the
Hide their pills. Hide their
No,
medicine.
give them more pills.
I was watching The Golden Bachelor a few months ago. It is so great, you guys, and it has now ruined me for the normal Bachelor, all right? Because the stakes are so much higher now. Like, this is their last chance, okay? Like, this is it. But now people are talking about maybe having a Golden Bachelorette, which I supported for a second until I thought about what that would mean. And I was like, I don't know if you can do that, okay? Because, like, a Golden Bachelor, that's fine. You know, you got 20 old ladies, that's a party, okay? But 20 old men? Are you kidding? You can't put that shit on TV. Just a limo full of guys with PTSD just rolling up to the mansion, just popping out one by one, slapping her on the ass. sugar tits, just explaining cream of wheat. Like, you can't do that to someone's grandma, all right? It's not okay.
Well, since we're talking about dating, some of your material hinges on your dating life
Sure.
and dating content. If you show up to a date, are you looking for a connection or are you looking for content?
I wish I could say that I show up to dates with no ulterior motive.
Oh,
but
wow.
Thank you for being
You are
honest.
so dirty. That is so dirty.
Love it.
Well, but
And
I will say, I don't date very much anymore at this
Okay.
point. At least in the last couple years, hasn't really been a priority for me. But it's not that I'm going on dates for the sole purpose of getting content. I will not accept a date if I didn't at least think that maybe there was something. You know?
Right.
Sure.
I don't really do apps. There was a few times where I went on a couple app dates where I was like, maybe something good, funny will happen, and it never does. My main issue why I don't do apps, every time I would show up to a date within 5 minutes, I would be like, I'm just not enjoying you as a person. And I don't know if that's just because of the apps or maybe I'm just genuinely not interested in dating at the moment.
Right.
But I just, it just seems, and then it just seems phony to have to, then I have to continue with the date. I can't just
To
leave
be
5
there.
minutes in. I don't have the gall to do that.
You don't do the friend emergency? Like, oh my God, Tiffany just
I
called
have
me.
done that one time.
Really? What happened?
I
What
don't
happened?
think he bought it.
No.
There's no way.
No
this
way.
was years ago. I
Sure,
was like
sure.
18 or 19.
And this is the first date?
This was a first date. He didn't look like his pictures, and he was French, and which, based on just one experience alone, was not a fan of.
Time out. French, that could mean a few things. It means they're good looking, but they smell terrible. Or they have really bad hygiene and they don't talk a lot. I'm picturing like a mime,
You're picturing me on a date with a mime.
How did this French person look compared to their photos?
Uglier.
Uglier.
What was that?
The French guy is pissed.
French,
He's
yeah.
here.
The French people, they come in from the ceiling. He didn't live up to his pictures, so then you're like, I got to get out of here somehow.
Well, kind of. No. It was the date itself just went poorly too
I
because
see.
we met at a bar in Venice Beach and
Good start.
Yeah, sure. And
No, Venice Beach not
I don't
romantic
know.
enough for you.
It's not. Have you been to Venice?
Venice Beach,
smells like shit.
it's like, yeah. I mean, there's just like a lot going on there. There's some cute places.
Anyway,
Brig,
but because he was French, immediately when he greeted me, he went for the kiss on both cheeks.
Okay.
And you gotta warn someone before you do that. So I was already pretty we're doing what now? And
you were thrown off.
yes, and then
And you didn't like that. You
no, I
that.
didn't
Okay.
like that. I just I get it. That's what they do over there. I've been to Europe. That is what they do over there.
Sure.
But it's not something I was expecting right off the bat.
Yeah, and I bet French dudes that live in America kind of lean into that a little more.
Yeah,
right?
probably. And I
Right.
was just like, I didn't like that. And
Yeah, like in 10 minutes in, he starts fingering you, and you're like, "This is what?" And he's like, "This is French. This is French." So then you had your friend call, or you called your friend.
Yeah,
and
so
said,
after 10 minutes into the date, I was just kind of like, I really don't want to be here anymore. And so I did have my friend call me and was just like, yo, my friend's sick. I don't even remember what the excuse was. Maybe
Right.
that was like, she's having a mental breakdown. I need to help her or something really dramatic. And he was just like, okay. And I saw it in his eyes. I was like, you don't believe me, but I don't really care at this point because
I'll never see you again.
And he
so-
already got his kisses, so what's the
Right. So I'm single. It's not funny. I'm at this point. My friends are trying to give me dating advice, right? They're like, maybe you should start playing hard to get, which is difficult when you're very easy to get. It is. You guys ever go on a Tinder date so bad you just delete all the apps? Like all the apps, Tinder, Hinge, Chase Mobile Banking, settings. You guys know those dates, right? He's opening a beer bottle with his teeth. You're sitting across from him like, I shaved my arms for this, you know? I was on a date with a guy recently. It was going well. He lured me back to his apartment afterwards. And then he goes, why don't we put on a horror movie? And I was like, no thanks, I'm good. I was scared before I got here. And but then he said that thing that guys say. He was like, oh, don't worry, you can watch one with me, because I'll protect you. Yeah, I was like, I just watched you open up a jar using your sweater sleeve. Like, you think you got what it takes to protect me? Guy's got a chainsaw, okay? And I was talking about this to my friend, and she was like, oh, you should let a guy watch a scary movie with you, because then when you get scared, then he feels more like a man. Yeah. I was like, why can't I just him, okay? Like, have you heard back about the 2-on-1 suggestion that I had?
Yeah, Todd, what are the producers saying to you?
Oh, sorry, it's not the weekend. It's Christmas Eve. They're not working.
Yeah, they're not working on Christmas.
Yeah, but I will get back to you.
I do have a lot of ideas, too, if you want.
Yeah, we
Throw
can
another reality
Why don't we
idea
just
out there.
start our own reality show?
That's a great idea.
I can finally stop doing this podcast.
I feel like there are two types of reality shows. Ones that admit to what they are, which is just a way for influencers to gain, recognition and status.
attention,
Sure.
And
likes,
ones
yeah.
that don't admit that that's what is going on. And I think my
interesting.
one qualm with The Bachelor is they're not really admitting that that's what's going on.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I think that they could be a really good reality show if they were just like, look, these people are here not for the right reasons, and we're okay with
yeah,
that.
looking
Is
for
there a
love.
reality show that you would be interested in doing?
Oh gosh, honestly, any that involve me on an I would
Anything on an island?
Yes, I probably. And here's the thing: like Bachelor in Paradise style show.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where it's just me and a bunch of people on an island, and then they just go have at it. There was a time where I did consider going on The Bachelor. And,
Really?
Yeah,
Did
but
you get close to like auditioning? Or,
no, I didn't. I was thinking about
Well,
it.
you can turn to camera 3.
Yeah. Pitch yourself to the reality
Hi,
TV gods.
I'm Natasha Collier. I'm a stand-up comedian from Los Angeles, and I'm just here to find love. You know, I've been alone for so long, and and it's never worked out. And so now I'm trying something new, something that I've never done before, just to go on a reality television show and try on a bunch of tech salesmen and people who work vague jobs in finance.
Real estate,
Yeah.
Real estate. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I was
venture
like
capitalists.
and generic content creators, which I don't know exactly what that means, but I just think it's lots of workout videos on TikTok. I've never dated someone so shallow before, but maybe that's who I need.
Two
if you've never
caveats
tried
to
it.
mention: no Frenchmen, of course.
Oh,
No
right.
French.
And for the hometown visits, don't try and feed your family or make them laugh.
Yeah, exactly. No food and no laughter whatsoever.
Part was once I started getting more into stand-up comedy, I was like, what are the odds they want a stand-up comic on the show?
I know. And that becomes one of the
That just-
dates. It's like, hey, everyone's going to go on stage and tell a joke. And it's like, that is a nightmare scenario.
And so I don't know if I could be the Bachelorette necessarily because just having to like nix all of these dudes just seems like it would be a lot of pressure on me. I would want to I would get down to 4 and want to keep all of them.
Right. Well, and then it would turn into Real Lives of Mormon Wives.
Go ahead. Yeah. There's a reality show for anything. Well, good. I hope.
Okay,
well,
we'll see
that
where
gets
this
into
goes.
the right. I hope that tape gets
Please
in
do.
the right hands.
I mean, comedy's not exactly bringing in the big bucks at this point, and
Sure.
You gotta try all of the avenues. That's what they tell you in Hollywood. Don't
Try
get
every
pigeonholed into stand-up comedy.
We're about to celebrate 2025 at the start of it. Survive till 25. Hopefully, we got another week.
Is
We'll
that
make
what they're
it.
saying?
And so for 2025 for you, what's the plan? What's next?
Why do people keep asking me that?
We're at the end of the year.
I'm a kind of write it out kind of person.
You're like I don't even live linear. I don't think linear. Time isn't
is
linear.
a flat circle, and
right.
and I'm just a passenger on this ride.
Yeah.
I'm not a big New Year's resolution maker. My birthday is New Year's Day, so there's always enough pressure of a new person. New Year's resolutions aren't really my thing.
Before we take off, I want to do a couple things. One, before we end every show, we have somebody, our guest, refer another person that we should have featured on this show.
Did somebody refer me?
No, not even.
And actually, Orion Levine.
Not even
referred
Orion Levine,
Cat
your roommate.
Bird.
Not even Orion Levine, your roommate. Referred you.
We haven't been roommates for very long.
Okay, great.
Since I moved here in July. When
You
was
guys
he on
were
the
living
pod?
together. You weren't funny those first few months, I guess.
Has Ray Lau been on the podcast?
Ray Lau has not.
Okay, that's my referral then.
Ray Lau. Okay, great. Good deal. So, Ray, we're hunting for you. We'll come and we'll get you on the pod. And your birthday's coming up.
It is coming up.
It's the holiday season.
Gosh.
What we would like to do here at the podcast is give you one of these bottles of tequila Especial.
Wow.
You can pick
a whole bottle of
Take it,
tequila
yeah.
just for me?
Just for you. Yeah.
That's
Don't give any to Orion.
amazing. No,
Yeah, Orion gets
of course
none.
not. He's not. He didn't refer me to this podcast.
Right?
No, Catbird's great, so I don't blame him there. What am I gonna make with all of this?
Mistakes.
Mistakes.
You're right. I'm just gonna drink it from the bottle.
Yeah, sweet.
Just do it. Get a straw.
well, enjoy it.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in. Funniest people you've never heard of. Now you've heard of another funny person here. And she's walking away with some tequila Especial. Get some for yourself. Have a great Christmas, New Year, and all that stuff. And we'll see you next Tuesday with the wrap up of this season. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Funniest People You've Never Heard Of is a production of Toby or Not Toby Productions. Executive producer Todd Fields, producer and host Peter Murphy. Studio space provided by Third Wheel. Theme song written and performed by Justin Fields. Brought to you by Tequila Especial. Don't forget to like and subscribe.